perfect weekend. What a great time we've been having, right? If you were here last night, if you were here, was it Thursday night? It's been great. On behalf of Kelsie and Clinton, I want to welcome everyone here today. We've got people from, Tyler mentioned it earlier, from everywhere. They're from every state. I think there's more people from other areas, from other states than there are from North Carolina. And yes, one from another country, at least one from another country, so, or lives in another country. So we've had people that made a great effort to be here. I know they appreciate it, and it's made it for a wonderful day. I have notes because I have a terrible memory, so it's to keep me on point. One note on that dance, just so you know, everybody probably knows Kelsie's been dancing since she was 2 years old. Her very first recital was at Johnston Community College. I don't know if you even know this, Kelsie. Where is she? No. I don't know if you know this, but your first one with, was it Adagio you were with then?
Yeah.
You didn't dance to that song, but the older girls did. I had never been to a recital, didn't know what to expect, but I remember seeing that and hearing that. It was so beautiful that I went home and Googled it, or whatever it was at that time. I think Google wasn't invented yet, but I learned it, and I made a note, and when you got a little bigger, I asked her if one day she could set up a song to, when she was choreographing, if she could do a song to that dance. I had no idea. That was, I maybe asked her twice in her lifetime for that, and she remembered and did it today, so it's pretty special. Hold on, I need a moment. Is it okay to have a beer when you do this?
Absolutely. Do it.
A little housekeeping. We have, so they brought the cheese table, whatever that was over there, is here. There's, if this might surprise you if you know Kelsie, it might not surprise you if you know Kelsie and Clinton, there's a taco bar over here. I think there's chicken, beef, and there's something that starts with a C. I'm not going to try to pronounce it, but I think it's a meatless, it's grass clippings is what it is. So you're more than welcome to go eat that. It should be good. It just feels right, doesn't it? Today, this weekend, isn't it? Oh, she told me I only had like 30 minutes. How long do I have? Okay. Sorry if you're hungry. I got a lot to say. I'm sorry. I've waited a long time for today. I've always thought, and some of you may agree, Kelsie's gifted. She always has been. She's always been a high achiever, and even back to when she was, first danced as little. When she was in school, she always had to have, if not the best grade, one of the best grades in the class. When she got later, she started, dance competitions. She always had to win. She's very competitive. I don't know if you know this, but she ran track, and she was she was white lightning. And she really was fast, and second was always too good for second. She had to win. Even she was a cheerleader for 1 year, 2 years? 1 year in middle school. And I don't think she ever knew anything about basketball or football. What she knew is that her cheer team was going to beat that cheer team over there, and they were going to do better. You asked her to score, she would have no idea, but she knew that the cheerleaders were going to beat the other cheerleaders. She's very competitive. I don't know where she gets that from. She also was a hard worker. This is going to be good. She burns the candle at both ends. I've been threatening her with this for a couple of days, but they live a lifestyle, these two, that is very unconventional to those of us who, I don't know, that have been working 8 to 5 for our entire careers. They don't do that. They do work a lot, but they piece it together in ways, and I know there's a lot of entertainers in here today, and you probably understand it, but to dads and moms, this is crazy the way they do this. But she burns the candle at both ends. She's got irons in the fire. She juggles multiple jobs. And since there's so many performers here today, I thought, well, what better way to show how she juggles these jobs than to juggle for the group? You've never seen this at a wedding, right? So Don't get too excited. Okay. So, all right. Wait, this is Kelsie we're talking about. See how many of these we can get going. Just to show you, when she talks about her schedule, can you still hear me? I'm kind of struggling.
You need me to hold it.
When she talks about her schedule, I want you to see what that means to Dad. I'm going to try to do this. Ping pong balls are kind of hard to juggle, but if you could, just I'm going to set the mic down just so I can show you. So, all right, here we go. That is Kelsie's schedule in Dad's eyes. Oh, I've been so excited about doing that. But the funny thing is, for her, they all go the same direction. I don't know how she does it, and she's done it since she was little, and I know her mom's had a lot to do with that. She would work, she would dance until 10 p.m., and then she would do schoolwork until 2, 3 in the morning, and you know, she did what she had to do. Then she went to ECU. That drive led to many travels. So once she decided to do dance professionally or make a living at it, sorry, I need a drink. She moved around, and if you ever had kids, you know that at some point they grow up. They start to move away a little bit. You feel like they're maybe slipping away or growing up. And she had moved multiple times for dance purposes. She was going to make a living at it, and she ended up at Cedar Point in Ohio. We went up there for, I think it was the first time we went, maybe the second. We went 3 different times. She was in different shows up there. But we spent the time that we were there. And the last day we met for breakfast at, what was that place? Diana's? Diana's. Yeah. A little diner there in Sandusky. And you know, here she is, she's making her way, she's spread these wings. Excuse me. When it got time to leave, we were pulling out, and we pulled up to the street, and she had her car. She was turning right back towards Cedar Point, and we were turning left back towards the rest of the world, to the highway, whatever. And I looked over to my right, and I could see the tears coming down her. You remember that? And that's when I knew that you were still my little girl. And that wasn't going to change. Sorry, I thought I could do that one, but you know, since that time I found that the other time she's my little girl is when the engine light comes on. So as she traveled around, you know, a lot of you are from those places that she went to, and one of you are from all those places that she went to. We went to Sandusky. The first time we went to Cedar Point, she said, "Go see my friend. He's tending bar at the Moonshine Bar back there." Okay, well, that's not a big ask for me. Go to the Moonshine Bar. And we get back there, and he didn't recognize us at first. He'd probably seen pictures or heard about us or whatever. But once he saw us, if you ever bought a drink at a theme park, they're not cheap. And we ordered 2 moonshine drinks, whatever they were. And I think he charged us like $3 for those 2 drinks. And I thought about tipping him, but I was too tight. I wasn't going to do that. So, you know, I thought, well, that's a nice guy. Later on, you know, we moved on, didn't think much. Later on, she had moved to Chicago, and she was in a great show in Chicago. Hadn't heard Clinton in a year or 2, hadn't heard a word about him. And one night after her show, we went with the cast of the show to this, it's like a grown-up arcade where they play video games and things and drink. And and her and the cast were sitting at the table. I mean, this was like doing whatever it is that cast members do after their show. I didn't fit in that circle. It's like Gomer Pyle meets Hollywood at that point, and it wasn't for me. So I went off and I was playing video games. I look up and here comes Clinton skipping up next to me, and we're playing video games together the rest of the night. And I said, where did this guy come from? So I'm starting to think, maybe I need to start accepting this guy. Then there was this incident just recently. So he travels for work, and I know some of you probably heard this story. His work company is back there, but he had an incident with the TSA that made me think twice about this whole arrangement. So, you guessed it. He went through the bag, the check, and he got caught carrying contraband trying to carry it onto the plane. And you know, we all have our own things that we carry onto a plane when we go or when we travel. We have essentials and things. Well, if you can imagine, Clinton got caught carrying a cast iron skillet into the plane. And that has nothing to do with the day. It's just too good of a story not to tell it. Because I don't know about any of you, but I've never been on a plane and had a terrorist come up and offer to make me an omelet. But they took his skillet, and I just love that story. It's great. I told them I was going to tell it today, and I don't think they believe me. But the truth of that is, when he does those traveling, they stay they stay in houses or whatever with their other co-workers, and him being you see how today is. You saw how last night was if you were here. You saw how Thursday night it was if you were here. He just likes to host people. He takes care of people. He fits in with everybody. He's, you know, I'm proud to call him, you know, my friend first, and we'll get to what I'm calling him after today. So going back to I think it was last summer, maybe it was last spring. Cody, his best man, his sister is in a band, and she played at a brewery near our home, and Clinton said, let's go see Cody's, a friend of mine's in a band tonight. And it was Kara back there, and that's a very talented family, by the way. And Cody was the lead guy in one of the shows that Kelsie was in at Cedar Point, and he called me up on stage and embarrassed me terribly one time. And I'm still going to get you back. But I was talking to their mom that night, Kim. She was there, and she was talking about Clinton. I've talked to a lot of you over the last couple nights trying to get the dirt on him, but there isn't any. And she said, he's like a third son to me. I guess you had two of your own sons. Well, thanks, Carrie Ann. That was you, wasn't it? Well, I've got one up on you because he's your third son. He's my first son. I had two girls, and I'm happy that he's my son starting right now. He's going to pay for that, but I'm not very happy. I mentioned. I gotta wrap this up. The band's leaving. I mentioned that Kelsie likes to win. Today they both win. I think you look at these guys. They're just perfect together. So many of you are here from everywhere to witness it, and it is exciting to be here. And I'm so happy for both of you. Happy for us, and you know, congratulations. And to Kelsie and Clinton, congratulations. Right here, it just feels right.